Okay, this is a video where instead of assuming that everything stays the same over time, we're going to assume that for the first 7 years we have this kind of return. Let's say for another 7 years after that we have that, and then for the last 21 years. For 21 years thereafter, we have this. Now, a couple of things here. We need to understand whether it's the short-term starting point, the medium term, or the long term that really matters here. For now, we'll keep the cost of capital the same, although you can argue it really changes a lot over time. It's probably highest in the growth stage and all that. And now we're just going to change this. Now, in the portfolio analysis, the first thing I did is I put the growth. So if we wanted to put the change in growth here, we could use the lookup function and look up this one against. And I realized I did this wrong. We should start with 0, go to 7, and go to 14. So this will be from 0 to 7, this will be 7 to 14, and this will be 14 onwards. So if we put lookup and press this one and then click on the growth rate, okay, and then we'll get this to work. So then, oops, shit. Of course, I was an idiot. I was supposed to put the year first and then the growth rate. I don't even know why it even worked before. So, oops, yes, and then so it starts at, and we want to just start at 10% or something and go and go down eventually. Excuse me, oh, shit. I hate when I have to go up and down like this. Now, instead of doing this, I think we should interpolate the growth in between. So we can go to the courses now in the website. This is in the folder called macros and macros or whatever it is. And then on this I have a function library. And in the function library we have this thing called lookup and interpolate, which I made another video on, and this has some lookup functions, but the real one is this last one, which has an interpolate built into the lookup function. So now we can go to put this function in, and hopefully it'll still work. If it doesn't, I'm going to stop the video. I might give up the video. We put lookup, interpolate lookup, and then we do the same thing. We put the growth rate. I guess this should have started maybe at 1. So it goes down to 5. That worked. Oh, shit. Okay. And then from 7, it just goes straight to 14. Just a minute. Shit. Okay, I had to fix the damn lookup thing, but now and I guess, let me just see, if you put 0 here, I'll have to change this. No, if it doesn't interpolate, so if you put point 0.001, okay, then it goes down and just stays constant. Excuse me for that. So 5 to 0.5, so it's going down kind of in an exponential way, and it just the math doesn't work if it's exactly 0. So we have to put that in. Now, so what we'll do is then use this interpolated thing as our growth rate, and then we'll, excuse me, for the inflation rate we can do the same thing now. This should be interpolate lookup. Okay, let me put the inflation in. I just press Shift Control R. Excuse me for not talking while I'm doing this. Then IR on new planes. Well, just a second. This is going to be really important. What we do with interpolate lookup again, and interpolate lookup. Okay, how many times do I have to do this? And then we put this one in, and then we put this one in. Now that might, when we change that, I think that's going to have a big effect. And then the IR on the new planes. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to do, and then I'm going to turn the video off, although I think I might be finished with this. So you can see how this works, hopefully. So this went down from 8 to 9 to 8, and Shift Control P, so we can see how it gradually goes down instead of suddenly goes down. I might as well leave it on for this. Okay, so we could even change the lifetime of the planes, although I don't know really. Well, I'd have to think about, well, maybe you could have innovations or something, and want to do some sensitivities on this. So now, now I can't remember what we had before, but I suspect that the effect of putting a 15% return, it actually, because your current return is higher, it actually goes down. So when you have a declining rate, now if I change this to 6,000, the short-term PE goes way down. Let's see this. No, it goes up. No, now that if we put 6,000 in, well, I'm going to have to check that. The growth rate in planes if we put 0. Okay, well, I'm pausing this because these are going the wrong way. Okay, I'm continuing, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this by some guy who's going to give me some crap. But I redid the interpolate function, and I'm going to put the interpolate function on the website. Now, the current interpolation function works with compounding. So you first see if there's you see if the value is between years, and then if it is, then you compute the ratio of end value divided by begin value. That's for the whole period. Between years or periods, and then this is the this is the okay. This is the difference between year and begin year, and then we compute factor to raise power to. So this is like raising begin, end, current divided by begin raised to the power, and this is the factor. This is this is the year divided by total years. Okay, and then we compute factor from power. Oh, this is horrible. And then we multiply. I've got to explain this a little better. Okay, and then you can do it instead of doing it by raising it to the power and doing compounding. You can do an absolute difference. So that's what I did here, and that's what I used. And I'm going to put that in our so this is going to be like a linear interpolate. I think I'll do a second video on that. Now, when you do that, here's what you can show. We can have kind of a base case, and in that base case, let's say we're earning 14%. We go through some growth stages. You know you're going to go through some growth stages, and then you can adjust it. Now, if the cost of the planes crashes, which actually happened, okay, and then oops, it took a second to do. Then you can see the PE ratio. I'm looking at this kind of PE ratio. I put ranges in the PE ratio. Should have told you that. So we can, the PE ratio here went down to from 22 to 18, and this time it went down to 18. this time it was 29. You can see that. Now, if in addition to that, the return goes down, and the let's put 4,000 again here, then our return goes way down. And if we don't use this economic depreciation, we started with 31, we started with a very high PE ratio, 49, and suddenly that high PE ratio and then we put, let's 10%, something like here. Okay. And I think that's enough. You can see how just dramatic some of the accounting assumptions and some of the assumptions about the true economic factors work. I wish there was an easy answer about what the market to book ratio, the PE ratio, or the EV to EBITDA ratio was, but at least you can kind of see how it's affected by various things, okay? And in the next video, we're just going to put a waterfall graph or value, what do you call this, a value build-up graph or something into this, okay? That's enough of this video.